Hello, we'll continue to read Canadian Electric Code book. Today is our last video regarding this and we will focus on our tables. Let's start on table. These tables are very important because you will consult this, you will refer these tables and solve many questions from chapter 4, from chapter 28 and transformer cable. Sometimes they give you current and ask you to find the cable size. Sometimes they give you cable size and ask you to find the current. So this is very important, but just be careful about these two things to select the 75-degree temperature and 60 degree, because mostly I observe we do mistakes in selecting here and then our answer is wrong. Let's say I give you a 4004. If you go to chapter 4 and just see here, temperature limitation. If you see, if the ampere is less than 100, it means 60 degree. We need to refer 60 degree column. If the ampere is more than 100, we need to refer 75 degree column. So let's move back and see here this one. This is more than 100 ampere and less than 100 ampere. So this is very important, just be careful. So you can see this is copper conductor and this is not more than 3 insulated copper conductors. Similarly, we have aluminum single conductor, this one, and chapter 4 we have not more than 3 insulated conductors. And now we move on to chapter 5. Chapter 5 is very important for this correction factor for the insulation temperature. 5B is very important and 5C. Just ignore this 5D, no need. Table 11 is important, and then table 12, copper conductor and equipment wire, and similarly table 13 for fuses, that is important. This is for the fuse. You will use this table for chapter 28 when you solve the motor question. And now we move on to chapter 16. I'm telling you the chapters only in which definitely more than one questions will come. So just make sure to follow this, and the remaining tables, no need to refer this. No need to waste your time. Table 16 very important. One question is must. And just ignore 17, 18 and go to 19. 19 is very important, at least 2 questions from this chapter, from this table. Table means it will come here, chapter 12. Okay, so this is very important. And then we go to table 21. Table 21, yeah, one question is must. Now table 27, this is for the motors, chapter 28, you can see here. So this is very important, you will frequently use during your exam. And table 29, yeah, time delay fuses. Then move on to table 37. Table 37 is for the insulation temperature. So this is also very important. You will use it for chapter 28 for motors. Now move on to table 44 for the motors. Table 44, 3-phase AC motors. You see chapter 28. So here, if they give you 600 volts, 600 means you will use this column, 575 volts. If they give you 480, you will use this one. So this is the motor rating, these are the voltages and ampere rating. Be careful while using this table. If they ask you synchronous type motor, you have to use this section. And this section is for induction, squirrel cage and wound motor. So this is very important. Sometimes we do mistake here. Now move on to table 45. Table 45 is for single phase AC motors, 115 volt and 230 volt. This is very simple but very important to read this. The first note. You see, here is 230 volt. Sometimes the question will say 208 volt. Sometimes it will say 200 volt. So sometimes we just write this. But this is for 230 only. If it is 200 volt, then what we have to do? We have to increase the current, full load current 10%. Let's say if it is a 5 ampere, we have to add 10% on that 5 ampere. That will be for 208. If the voltage, supply voltage is 200 volt, then we have to increase 15% the full load current. Okay, so this is very important. Just make sure that you don't do any mistake. Chapter 53, one question is must. Chapter 56, one question is must. Then move on to chapter table. Table 61, one question is must. 63 table. This is very important. One question. 65. Table 65 is also very important. One question, sometimes two questions. Two questions, yeah. And then move on to table 69. One question is very important. So those were the tables. Now we move on to, after this last table 71, we will move on to diagram. So in this diagram, only diagram 2 and 3 are important. Diagram 1 also important, but normally no question from this section, but this section has one question, sometimes two questions. Diagram 2, so you must follow this and just be careful while selecting. This is 3 phase, 250, 480, 600 volt. These are very important. Diagram 3, one question. Now move on to appendix D, table D2. This is for DC motor. So this is also very important. And now table D6 and D7. This one question is must. Torque. D6 and similarly D7. So these are the tables. The rest of the table which I did not mention, just ignore it for exam because I don't want you to waste the time. Focus on these tables with respect to the chapters, and I hope you will be able to pass the exam. So if you like my video, please subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.